Hello, Dukes and ladies. My name is Civic Extraordinaire, and I'm doing something a bit new today, something avant-garde, because I'm covering CK3, the new expansion revealed, which is known as the Royal Court. And this expansion covers a lot of things. It's actually pretty pricey, sitting at $30 or $29.99 if you want to be approximate about the price on Steam, and I just wanted to take the chance to look over the DLC, review on a few of the features, and talk about what we know so far, just judging from the Steam page and from a little word from the developers. So this was revealed on the eve of PDXCon, and there is quite a bit to dissect. First of all, there's no actual release date, as well as the fact that, of course, this is a very expensive expansion, probably the most expensive expansion that Firaxis has ever charged. I don't know if they're going to plan to knock this down, but this is half of the base price of CK3. CK3 is on sale too right now at I think $50. This is the bundle, so it's going to be a bit pricier. I think that includes everything. But if you're thinking of grabbing some bundles that maybe include the Royal Courts, I definitely go ahead and prioritize them because this is going to be a huge expansion. And hopefully it delivers because $30 is a lot of content. So I'm just going to get right onto the content and talk about that and read a little message from the developers, and then you'll start jumping right in. Greetings! What's the most symbolic image of a medieval ruler you can think of? Maybe they're riding a horse through a village, maybe they're perched at the top of a tower overlooking their realm, or maybe they're leading troops in battle. Those are good, but there's one thing that is depicted more than anything else. Something quintessentially medieval, something that truly evokes the feeling of the era. A ruler on a throne, surrounded by courtiers, vassals, and petitioners. This is something brand new to the Crusader Kings series, an area we wanted to improve upon for a long time. We have your ruler in the interface, we have your realm on the map, but what really connects them? Now you'll be able to see your monarch on their throne actually ruling. Kings and emperors will gain access to the royal court, a throne room where their loyal subjects can gather, where glorious artifacts can be put on display, and where rulers can hold court in order to deal with the troubles and wishes of the realm. Similarly to medieval rulers of old, you can aspire to have the grandest court in the world, or perhaps simply live up to the expectations put on you by your peers. No one respects a stingy monarch, after all. With the royal court, we want to immerse you in the life of a medieval ruler by letting you take the reins and experience rulership firsthand. You will not only see your ruler occupy the same space as your family and subjects, but you'll have the opportunity to engage with many new and exciting systems, sponsor projects, spend gold on lavish amenities, solve strifes between squabbling courtiers, appoint jesters, and much more. How will you rule your realm? And what is a ruler without subjects, their people? After all, it's they who pay the taxes. Much like with faiths, cultures will be made more interesting and malleable, all in line with our vision of player freedom and progression. Different cultures will have different traditions, different opinions of each other, and even shift and change with time. No longer will cultures be static and similar. We want to give you, the player, the freedom and possibility to shape your own culture and guide its progress in a variety of exciting ways. Of course, culture will change at a slower pace than faiths do. It'll be gradual over time, tradition by tradition, though sometimes larger shifts can occur due to isolation or as the result of two different cultures intermingling. Grow the acceptance between cultures in your realm, diverge your culture to adopt a new ethos, or create a hybrid between two cultures in your realm, adopting the language, traditions, and aesthetic choices you find the most compelling. There are many possibilities to explore, and no two games will ever look the same again. All of this is a big undertaking as it breaks new ground for the game in more than one way. It's going to take a little bit longer, but as we get closer to launch, we'll start sharing many more details, both on what's been mentioned here as well as other things coming in the expansion. We hope you're excited to join us on the journey. You can expect the expansion to release later this year. So I think after reading the developers' words, which were very well put together, I might add, just reading through them, there are certainly a lot of promises relating to the Royal Courts. After all, it is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, expansions that CK3 has seen, and the biggest expansion possibly to Crusader Kings. So I just wanted to dissect some of the things they mentioned here. Of course, they've listed them out, and see just how big this expansion could be. Of course, the most exciting thing, they put it right up front, is the throne room. A lot of players, at least after this expansion is installed, will probably spend a lot of time in the throne room, and it's a visual representation of your royal courts. And of course, you'll have your treasures stored here, you'll have a different assortment and array of goods, and possibly you might even be able to talk to your merchants and various other vassals passing through. Now, this is all nice and dandy. You have grandeur, you have being able to hold courts, and you can inspire people with hybrid cultures, but I'm really interested in how this is going to affect the pacing of the mid-game and especially the late game because they make sure to mention that only kings and emperors can actually hold court. Because they say here, and I think they said somewhere in the developers' notes, they might be a bit snarky with it actually, because I don't see anything up front here. It might be over in this specific interaction. They make sure to mention kingdom, but this isn't going to be available to dukes or counts for any portion of the game. So that can be pretty destabilizing, especially since you're definitely having a bigger goal to work your way up to the top. Though I am a bit concerned that dukes can't actually hold court, because dukes were still fairly powerful. I mean, you have very significant figures in history like the Duke of Venice, or I think there was actually a doge, but you have like specific Italian dukes holding their own like little kingdoms without actually being kings, and a bunch of city-states mingling around and just creating interesting interactions between each other. So I'm a bit disappointed that dukes can't actually hold court, but of course this release date hasn't even been announced. So there is much to change in the future, but personally, I am looking forward to the Royal Court. It is a very broad expansion. It's not like the Northern Lords where it focuses on a specific culture. So we'll just have to see where the devs go with this exactly. Another interesting thing to mention is cultural divergence. Probably one of the other two big things that this is focusing on in terms of the expansion. They're focusing on throne rooms, something that the player can directly mingle with and kind of influence as a ruler, something tangible. And then they're talking about something that is much more abstract, cultures, and trying to take more of a, I guess, a hands-off approach or a hands-on approach, depending on where the player wants to drive and pull away at the cultures, and whether they want to direct the culture's path personally, or if they want to have a hands-off, laissez-faire approach and just watch the culture grow, and then possibly just observe from the distance. So this has just been a little bit for CK3's new expansion, the Royal Court. I just wanted to talk about it and kind of give my brief opinion on some of the features. I'm fairly excited for this, though. The price tag, again, is a bit steep at $30. That's half the price of the base game, so kind of making me wish I bought the pass there. But anyhow, I'm still fairly excited for the upcoming expansion, and I'm curious to see if you guys like this kind of content, if you want to see more content like this in the future, and I guess the view count will really show whether you guys are actually interested for this kind of stuff. So if you do like this video, that said, leave a like and subscribe for more content like this if you haven't already, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. This has been Civ Extraordinaire, and I will see you later. Peace.